In our numerator, the only thing we can do is remove a GCF. That's all we can do with this one. What do you think our GCF would be? 8 and 24 have a lot of common factors. We can divide them both by 2. We can divide them both by 4. But what else can we divide them by? 8. Thank you. So with that 8x minus 24, if we divide them both by 8, that 8 comes out, and we're left with x minus 3. So that means that my new numerator will be 8 times x minus 3. Now, fortunately for us, a is 1 in my denominator, so we don't need to make a box. Make your 2 parentheses, put an x in front of both. We need to find 2 numbers that multiply to give you negative 30 and add to a positive 7. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes. Just give me a thumbs up when you think you know those numbers, just so I can see. I think that's the hardest part, is finding the numbers. So I got a couple people. All right, what are my numbers? What'd you say? Not quite. 5 and 7. You said 5 times 7? 5 times 7, that doesn't multiply to give us negative 30. Because it has to multiply to give negative 30. And then add to a positive 7. But you're on the right track, though. So when we think about 30, numbers that multiply to give us 30 are 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, and 5 times 6. Those are my only options to get that 30 at the top. So which pair am I using to get to that 7? 3 and 10. And the 3 is negative. So a negative 3 and a positive 10 multiplies to give us negative 30 and adds to a positive 7. So let's put a minus 3 and a plus 10. Now everything is fully factored. We can cancel out a common factor. And what do they both have after we factored it out? Notice they both have x minus 3, so that can go away, leaving me with a final answer of 8 over x plus 10. And that's it. So we have 4 questions left to do as we finish out this first piece of the first part of chapter 8. So go to page 6 and we have E, F, G, and H, and we are done. So page 6 in the blue packet. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. Do I need to flip this fraction? Yes or no? Do I need to flip it? No. Why not? It's not divided because it's multiplication. You're correct. So I don't need to flip it. I'm just going to draw my fraction bar. This is already factored. There's nothing I can do with that but bring that down. However, this can be factored down. So in order to factor that piece down, I need 2 numbers. They multiply to give you 25, and they add to 10. 2 numbers that multiply to equal 25 and add to equal 10. And those numbers would be 5 and 5, both positive. Okay, so when I look at this one, the only thing I can do with that is take out a GCF. Remember, taking out a GCF is factoring. It's called greatest common factor. So when you take out a GCF, that is factoring. So what would be the GCF? Looking at 4 and 20. 4 and 20 can both be divided by what? What's the largest number that goes into 4 and 20? 4. And then let's look at our variables. I have 3 apples and 2 apples. What do they both have? They both have 2. They both have at least 2. We can't take out more than 2 because that's the most that this one has. We can't take out more than that. So I'm actually going to divide it by 4a squared. So that would be my GCF. That's going to come out. And when I take that out, 4 divided by 4 is 1. A cubed divided by a squared. When you subtract, you just get 1a. Bring down the plus sign. 20 divided by 4 is 5. And that cancels. So I have an a plus 5. So this factors down to 4a squared times a plus 5. Now this one is already factored, so I'm just going to bring that down, the 3a and the a plus 4. So now that everything has been factored down, we can begin to cancel things out. One thing that we can take away is an a plus 5. What else can I take away? What'd you say? 3a, yeah. Anything else? Is that it? Okay. So my final answer, I have an a plus 5 upstairs. Downstairs, I have 4a squared and an a plus 4. And that is my final answer. Questions, comments, what you think? All right, let's look at question F. Do I need to flip question F, yes or no? Yes, that's division. So I'm going to start by rewriting it. So it's keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction. Change division to multiplication. Flip the second fraction. Now it's a multiplication problem. And we can factor. So when I factor it down, let's start off with here. That has an a value of 1. Lucky for us. So we can make our 2 parentheses and put an x in front. So we need 2 numbers that multiply to give you 20, but add to 12. Just give me a thumbs up when you think you know what my 2 numbers would be that multiply to equal 20, but add and equal 12. Some of you all are real fast finding those numbers. But it's not a contest. We don't get a cookie. I just want you all to think about it. Try to get it. We got our next test, April 23rd. Juan, what you come up with? 2 and 10. Both positive. So I'm going to put a plus 10 and a plus 2. Now let's look at the other half of my numerator, which is here. That can also be factored down. So I'm making my 2 parentheses. Put an x in front of both because, again, a is 1. So we need 2 numbers. They multiply to equal -6 and add to -1. So this is kind of tricky because we got a negative on the top. It's easy when they're both positive numbers, but the negatives kind of Kind of tricky. Anybody know my numbers besides Juan or Isaiah? -3, +2. So we got a -3 and a +2. Now my denominators are already factored. There's nothing I can take out there. So I'm just going to rewrite those down at the bottom. And now cancel out everything that you see that we have upstairs and downstairs. So I heard an x + 2. Anything else? Another x + 2. Anything else? Okay. So my final answer in the top would be x + 10, x - 3, and then my denominator is 4x. How do you guys feel about this multiplying and dividing? I will say that I am very happy with the improvement in factoring. I was nervous about this chapter, but you all are doing really, really good factoring. So I'll take back what I said about this being hard. I think we're going to be okay. All right, last two. Do I need to flip it? Nope. Okay, well, let's make our fraction bar. This is simplified and this is simplified. So I'm just going to bring those down and rewrite them. All right, so then we have this and we have this. Okay, so let's look at what I have highlighted in yellow first. A is 1, so put an X in front of both. So we need two numbers that multiply to equal 10, add to 7. Two numbers that would multiply to equal 10 and add to 7. All right, I heard where I saw a +2 and a +5. Do you all recognize what this is? Because this is a pattern. We don't need to make an X for it. So we got to find, raise your hand. I'm not going to ask you, but raise your hand if you know what that pink factors down to. A couple people. Okay. So I'm going to make my two parentheses. What multiplies to give me x squared is an x and an x. Now, when you look at your chart, can everybody look at your chart real quick? Notice that there is like a diagonal line that's in gray going down your chart. Those are called perfect squares. So if you look at that, if you see that 9, you'll see that the two numbers that you can get that perfect square with is a 3. And then for this pattern, one is positive and one is negative. All right, so everything is factored. Let's start crossing out. What's something I could take away? X + 3. Somebody else. X + 2. Somebody else. X + 5. Anything else? Okay. So my final answer would be x over x - 3. Did I say x over? I meant to say 8. 8 over x - 3. That is my final answer. Do I need to flip h? Yes, that's division. So I'm going to rewrite it first. So I have x squared, keep the first fraction. Change it to multiplication. Flip the second fraction. All right, I'm going to give you about 3 minutes to try and factor it down. And I'm going to tell you that this needs to be factored. This has a GCF. And this one has a GCF. So take a couple minutes and see if you can factor it down, and then I'll go through it with you. All right, let's go ahead and check what I came up with. So for the top one that I have highlighted in pink, and I color coded it to help, that factored down to x plus 4 and x minus 1. Raise your hand if you have that. For the blue, right here, the only thing I could take out was a 3. So that became 3 times x plus 1. For my yellow, I could take out a 3 also, and that would be 3 times x plus 4. So now that everything has been factored down fully, we are ready to start eliminating some factors. Oops. All right, what is something that you notice that I can take away? What did you say, Haja? X negative 1. Sean, you see anything else I could take away? Wait. Yep. Morelli, do you see anything else I could take away? Yeah, 3. So now that everything is canceled out, I have an x plus 1 left on the top and an x minus 3 on the bottom. And it is optional to put parentheses around it because it's only one thing. You don't have to put parentheses. You could also just write it like that. And I know I go back and forth with putting parentheses and without, but if it's only one group upstairs and one group downstairs, we don't need to put parentheses. So that would be my final answer. All right, so let's take out homework 1. Remember, homework 1 is due on Tuesday.